Haribol. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kundaji Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kundaji Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridhari Jaya Giridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridhari Jaya Giridhari Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Nandana Raja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kundaji Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kundaji Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridhari Jaya Giridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridhari Jaya Giridhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're continuing, aren't we, in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 9, and it's the actual final two texts, isn't it? Text 43 and 44. I see we've got 43 up, haven't we? So my Sanskrit's still rubbish. Sorry for those. Okay. Those that know me know, don't they? So, Sarvavidam Maidanam Atmamata Yine Prayashya Yatha Privam Yasaka Maya Astrate. I'll hand over to the seniors. Savavavedamayedinam Atmamatmakmyonian Yadasavaya Pruvam Yashvasaya Sheshvade Savavavedamayedam Atmanatmaryonana Yana Savayata Bhuva Yasha Se Mayeshvate Savada Veda Mayadidam Atmanatmaryonina Prajaseya Priyana Yat Sanjamaya Surati. Attitudes? Savada Veda Mayedam Atmanaya Triyonia Prayasavayuro Pruvan Yashamaya Meshate Savadam Veda Mayedam Atmanayonaya Yasevanyo Pruvam Yashase Marineshware Sava all Vedamayam under complete Vedic wisdom. Idam, this. Atma, by the body. Atma, you. Atma Yanana, directly born of the Lord. Priya, living entities. Shriya, generate. Yatha Pruvam, as it was therein before. Ye, which. Ka, also. Maya, in me. Astri, lie. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada. By following my instructions, you can now generate the living entities as before. By dint of your complete Vedic wisdom and the body you have directly received from me, the supreme cause of everything. So it's nice, isn't it? My instructions. So who's he got the instructions from? He's the creator. It's an interesting question, isn't it? And by dint of Vedic wisdom, where's he got that from? So many questions just in that little bit, isn't it? Prabhupada doesn't give a purport on it. It's already covered. Amazing, isn't it? So text 44. Maya tu vaka tasma ivayata sastra pradana priyashvrase Brida Savarupane Ganyani Satrine. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The sage Matri said, after instructing Brahmana, the creator of the universe, to expand the primeval Lord, the personal Godhead in his personal form of Narayan disappeared. Purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Before his activity in creating the universe, Brahmana saw the Lord. This is the explanation of the Kutasloka Bhagavatam, where the Creator awaited Brahmana's activity. Brahmana saw the Lord, and therefore the Lord existed in the personal form before the creation. The eternal form is not created by the intent of Brahmana, as imagined by less intelligent men. The personality of God had appeared as he is before Brahma, and he disappeared from him in the same form, which is not materially tinged. Thus ends the Bhagavatam purports of the third canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Brahma's Care Prayers for Creative Energy. Tasmai Shri Krishna Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasti Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's interesting that when you look at biblical understanding, is that God created. And we get not a very big understanding as to how creation happened or what was involved, how it occurred. We only get told that God was there before and God is there after. But then it teaches that we're going to live forever on earth, so that doesn't quite make sense. But we're getting thorough instruction from Srimad Bhagavatam. But it's interesting that when we look at Brahmana, well, Brahmana is created, but there's nothing around him. It describes that he's in the well of darkness. So if you studied by dark, have you ever been in a dark room and you don't know where the door is or the window is? You don't know if there's any obstacles around and what have you. It's a cause of anxiety, isn't it? Cause of stress. But it's interesting that they said that Brahmana knew everything from previous births. So he was actually picking up from not only previous births, but because of his connection with Krishna in the heart, he realized that he had to go to Krishna. Now, did he get it straight away? It was hard work. When we're reading through, it's not that Brahmana just immediately saw Krishna. It was a long time on his own, wasn't he? Meditating, thinking of Krishna. He finally gets to see Krishna, where he gets full instruction. And the final instruction is I have given you the body and the tools to create the material universe. And then Krishna disappears. So Krishna is given instruction. So what does Brahmana do with it? He follows the instruction of Krishna. and he creates the material universe. But he also creates the Vedic wisdom, the knowledge that we need in order to negotiate the material world. And we see this time and time again when we study the Srimad Bhagavatam and we study Bhagavad Gita, is that the devotee is already connected with Krishna in the heart, the little spark. Faced with difficulty, where did they go? We saw Arjuna had Krishna. So he turns to Krishna. What for? Instruction. He's there on the battlefield as the commander-in-chief. That's a hard job to start off with. But he's fully aware of the ramifications that the imminent war was going to give. The loss of friends and family. He couldn't do it. Brahmana, faced with just darkness, although he had the creative ability, couldn't do it. So they turned to Krishna and they listened carefully to the instruction given. And then what's the instruction? I have given you what you need to know. Now go ahead and do it. Okay? So in both instances, we see that they go ahead and they do it. I was thinking to myself, okay, it sounds quite good. But we've got a modern day example of someone who took instruction and followed it. And then the question that I ask myself is, am I willing to follow his example? I was meditating on Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is a young gentleman making his way in the world. So many things that he could get involved in. For a time, politics. It seems to be a young man's dharma, doesn't it? At some stage they get involved a little bit in politics. So get rid of the British. Was at the time, wasn't it? Indian independence. But by a friend, he gets to go to see his Guru Maharaj. At the time wasn't Guru Maharaj, but he got one instruction. Print books. Translate to English, print books. It's a tall order, isn't it? He wasn't the only one that heard that instruction, though. His godbrothers and sisters heard the same instruction. So what was the difference between Srila Prabhupada and his godbrothers and sisters? It was the connection with Krishna that he had taken seriously. The connection and instruction of his Guru Maharaj that he took seriously. So he started translating. He started Back to Godhead magazine. It was hard work. How many people came along and helped him in India in the early days? And I questioned myself, would I be that dedicated? I've only heard instruction once. I've not had a lot of time with my Guru Maharaj. Would I take it that seriously? Makes me ponder. So Srila Prabhupada comes to America because his Guru Maharaj said, preach to the West. There's not many Westerners in India at that time. Probably is now, just with tourism now, isn't there? You go to certain parts of India now and it's very tourist, lots of Westerners. Back in time, no Westerners. What was the advice that the God brothers and sisters, and when he went to go and get passage to India, what was the advice given? You're an old man. Go to Vrindavan, chant, see your life out. He was pondering on the mission. He wanted to create a home for everyone. Brahmana made a home for the living entities. Prabhupada wanted to make a home for those searching how to get out of the material earth. So he comes to America. Not an easy passage. Yeah. Anybody been in a small vessel in rough seas knows how difficult it is. To have heart attacks at the same time. And I was thinking to myself, where would I be? I think probably the first boat back, in reality. Would I be as determined as Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada was determined. So where does he go? He arrives in America. He has a few people that can assist, but no devotee association. Can you imagine arriving and having no devotee association? How tough that is. You thought about it. So he sits there in the park and he gets his cartellers. What does he do? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There's no call or response. He just carries on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Why the Maha Mantra? Why the cartels? Why start off by chanting Hare Krishna? He'd been translating so diligently that he knew that in the age of Kali Yuga, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than the chanting of the holy names, the holy names, the holy names. 3 times for emphasis. How are you going to save those who are absorbed in material life? By the chanting of the holy names. He was aware of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the avatar of Krishna that came in the mood of Radharani. To understand what it was like to be a devotee, but also to make sure that this Sankirtan movement was started. And who do we limit it to? There's no limit. It is for everyone. That's the power of the holy name, is that immediately we start, and we see it, don't we, when we go out and Harinam. Even the drunks, they hear the Maha Mantra. And what do? attracted. So Prabhupada sat there and he knew that just by chanting Hare Krishna, he would attract the devotees. And it's interesting that on one of Prabhupada's morning walks, and Prabhupada's, the devotees were talking to him, and he said, yes, when I first came to America, I was alone. Some people helped, but I was alone. And now I have you lovely boys and girls. And I was thinking alone, but he had help. But he acknowledged that he had help. But why was he alone? Because he wanted devotee association. In order to elevate ourselves, we need to have devotee association. If there's no devotees, then what do? We chant Hare Krishna and we make devotees. This is the Yuga Dharma of the age of Kali Yuga, is that we've come through the order of the spiritual master to make devotees. How do we make devotees? And if you think he was doing programs, and we think we've got it hard, but Prabhupada had to go out, do Sankirtan, distribute the books, make the prasadam, give the class. Yeah? Clean up afterwards. And I don't believe it was paper plates either. And Westerners, we're not very well educated, so dirty plate goes on the side, somebody else's problem. Yeah. But it's the sincerity of those that then came. Extraordinary devotees, because they sat and they listened to Srila Prabhupada chanting Hare Krishna. The connection immediately is made with Krishna in the heart. And so they start chanting Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada laughs. When we see the drunks out and they start chanting Hare Krishna, they've started their devotional life. How many lifetimes have I gone through to get to this stage? I don't really know. It's not going to help me anyway. What's going to help me is the wise counsel of the devotees and following the instruction of Guru. So Prabhupada then started instructing, wasn't it? You develop friendships, which is what Prabhupada did. And what's the next thing you want to do? How can I help? So the first people coming along wanted to help Prabhupada. And what did they say was the most amazing thing was Prabhupada's smile. He gave so freely, he smiled so freely. And when they were ready, they were sent out. What to do? Sankirtan Harinam. To distribute books, to open up centers. Imagine being with your Guru Maharaj and you're just going in the middle of nowhere and he goes, okay, next stop, you get off, start a center. And the devotees did it. Because of their love of Prabhupada. Jai. Shri Radhika Goldananda Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Ki Shri Garnitai. Beautifully dressed today, aren't they? Oh, wow. There was no Garnitai. Here at Bhaktivedanta Manor, there's no Bhaktivedanta Manor when Prabhupada first came to London, when he first came to UK. I was talking to a lovely Prabhupada disciple, and he was one of the first disciples here at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and his wife did the flowers for Shishiradhika Kulananda. And he turned around and he said, we love Prabhupada so much, and Prabhupada loved us so much. We'll do anything for him. And with a young family, he was sent out to create a centre with his wife, young family. Just did it. No question. And the question I ask myself is, am I that in love with Krishna? Am I that in love with my Guru Maharaj that I'm going to follow the instructions given? Is it impressed on the heart? Is it impressed when we get up in the morning? Is that the first meditation that we have? Or is it the last? When I first met my Guru Maharaj, and I was a little bit disrespectful, to say the least. So he gave class, and okay, well, that's okay, but, so the second time I'd taken umbrage at some of the things he'd said, so I took him to task over it. Very humble. Who am I to question a spiritual master? But under the modes of material nature, he understood. Full of compassion for fallen conditioned souls is what we say every day, and he showed full of compassion for fallen conditioned soul. And he said, anybody can answer that question. He said, no, you made the statement, you answer it. If you can't answer it, then why you stood there in front of me? Okay, you put it like that, I will answer you. So he answered me. Third time we met, I was in his sights. He knew the profession that I did. So the interrogation started. Okay. So you're a nurse? Very good. Okay. So, when you discharge your patients, can you tell me, will they no longer suffer? Well, the reason they come back is because they do suffer. Okay. Can you tell me, do they in your care come to full health? Or do some of them die? Well, and at the time I was carrying the crash bleep in the hospital, so I see a lot of deaths. It's interesting that in the healthcare profession that we're surrounded by death and we don't really think that we're going to die. Maya's covering, totally unaware. I was a young, youthful, yes, so I'm going to live forever. So never going to get old like these old people. Although I was also resuscitating newborns, young lads, young girls. So they will die. So what's the point? It's a direct question. What's the point? What's the point of nursing if at the end of the day the person still suffers and the person still dies? What's the point? Where was my Guru Maharaj getting the knowledge from? Krishna. Because while we're in the material world, we're going to suffer, we're going to die, we're going to be born again, we're going to suffer, we're going to die. What's the point? So he made the point. It is the devotees who are the real nurses. It is the devotees that are the real doctors. The best consultant we've got is Srila Prabhupada. who translated the books for us to follow. Because it's through the devotees that we stop the repeated birth and death, and we stop suffering. There is a difference between somebody leaving their body, ready to take another birth, and somebody leaving their body with the Maha Mantra being sung to them at the time. Quantitatively and qualitatively, you can see the difference. So what was my Guru Maharaj's instruction? It's kept me awake for the last 20-odd years. So why don't you use your nursing to not only look after the physical body, but the spirit, soul? Question is have I taken that instruction seriously? Was Prabhupada's instruction? Chant Hare Krishna, distribute books. If they don't take a book, give them the holy name. If they don't take the holy name, give them prasadam. If they don't take prasadam, which I've never seen anybody turn down prasadam, even the most ardent, I had one that cursed me to death, so here, have some prasadam. Okay, took the prasadam. Yeah. And if they're that entrenched in material life, may I bless you to be a devotee next life. Yeah. Instruction. So Brahmana got instruction, he followed it through. Arjuna got instruction, he followed it through. Prabhupada got instruction, he followed it through. Every devotee has instruction. The question is are we willing to follow it through? I'm always humbled when I come here to the manor and I see these old senior devotees that have given their life to Krishna consciousness, and in one way or another have helped to develop me. Some by, what have you been doing since the last time I saw you? What have you done to fulfill Krishna's mission? Yeah. To the way that they engage you in service. I've told this story many a time of Parojana Babru when I first came to the manor. And I'd come to the manor, I was struggling in Krishna consciousness, struggling in material life, and I thought, right, well, okay, if I can't make it to Bhaktivedanta Manor, then this is nonsense. So I managed to talk my way into staying over the weekend, and the instruction was, you go on Sunday, okay? You go on Sunday. You can stay till Sunday. So I came here for Gaurati, sat in the prasadam room, and Parojana came up. Would you like to do some cleaning? I don't know why, I'm not too sure, what have you. And he said one thing that touched my heart. Have a blessed day, but it's there if you want it. Devotional service is there if you want it. It's whether or not you're willing to grab it. But then once you've grabbed it, what do you need to do? You need to distribute it. Isn't it? We see here, don't we, that the senior devotees, they're distributing love of God at every opportunity, in one way or another. So my first service here at Bhaktivedanta Manor was with a brush and mop. I went to university not to do brushing and mopping, but it was the best service ever. And then Parojana comes in and says, you're doing it wrong. And then he explained why, and it made sense. It had never occurred to me. Wow. Yeah? You're cleaning Krishna's temple. Make it spotless. Right? While we're cleaning Krishna's temple and making it spotless, what we're doing, we're cleaning our heart and making it spotless. By chanting Hare Krishna, we're doing cleaning the heart, we're making it spotless. So what we're going to do our inattentive chanting whilst Coronation Street's on? I went to somebody's house and they were struggling with, and they stopped me because there was some Bollywood movie on, and they were trying to do the japa during the Bollywood movie. And that's where you've gone wrong. One guy had given class and he said, I'm not for this surrender. You know, so the surrender to the guru, surrender to the devotee, do devotion, so not into that, not into that. It's all bogus. I was thinking, well, you've got to surrender to something. And then he revealed what he surrendered to. I follow my mind. Okay, there's your surrender. And where's the mind taking you? Here, there, and everywhere. Isn't it? Will the mind shut down? No. Will the desire shut down? No. But by chanting the Maha Mantra, the mind becomes quiet. We become focused. And by entering service, we get a fuller taste and a fuller understanding. Prabhupada said that if ISKCON finished by reading my books, it will start again. Do we have that much faith that we can start a center anywhere just by distributing Prabhupada's books and chanting the holy names? We should have that much faith, shouldn't we? We should have much faith in the instruction of Guru that we're going to follow it. In life, there's going to be difficulty, best being having difficulty following the instructions of the spiritual master than following the instructions of Maya that will just lead us to repeated birth and death. So enjoy each other's association. Enjoy the chanting of the holy names. Develop in Krishna consciousness. And as Prabhupada said, make it your mission that you go home, back to Godhead, this lifetime. And he had much faith that we could all do it. By the mercy of the devotees of Guru, we'll all go home this lifetime. So I hope that that's been beneficial. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Any questions, corrections, thoughts?
Right. It's okay now. When it says in here that after instructing the Creator of the universe to expand, the primeval Lord, the personality of Godhead in his personal form, disappeared. And that's a very nice thing, because I remember Kanakatamba Maharaj, he started sort of giving so many devotees a chance, even though they were inexperienced. He left it up to them to do what they did. Then he disappeared.
Yeah.
And they're carrying on.
Yeah.
So that reminded me of Kanakatamba Maharaj. You know, it's up to us. You know, if you want to have, keep your vows, it's up to us. And because eventually your spiritual master disappears.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's worth remembering. And we all disappear sometimes, so we got something to hand on.
Yeah.
Just carry on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the instructions there in my words, isn't it? Yeah. Always an inspiration, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay. Is it time for prasadam? Okay. Shri Bhagavatam Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare